Hello again, everybody. Welcome to USA Wrestling Weekly. I'm Scott Casper. Here now this week's news and features from USA Wrestling, the national governing body of our sport. Istanbul, Turkey beckons, and the 2011 World Wrestling Championships are only weeks away. All three of the American World teams have been completing their domestic training in Colorado Springs at the U.S. Olympic Training Center. This year's World Championships hold extra importance as the event marks the first qualifying for the 2012 London Olympic Games. Important? You bet, as the top 6 place winners in each Olympic weight class earn their nation a spot in the Olympic Games. Today we'll go behind the scenes and talk with athletes from each of the teams as they finish their prep for Istanbul. The first U.S. team to compete at the World Championships will be the Greco-Roman team, set to go from September 12th through the 14th. America has a strong contingent as 6 of the 7 U.S. athletes have competed in previous World Championship events. 211-pounder Justin Ruiz is a veteran team leader who won a world bronze medal in 2005. His extensive international experience will play a key role in the team's success.
It's just one match at a time. I mean, everybody that shows up for World Championships, especially this year right before the Olympics, everybody's trying to get weight qualified. Everybody wants to win that medal, and it's just, you know, first match, second match, just boom, 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 just focusing on each guy and getting ready and get up for each match. There's not any easy matches at the World Championships. And you qualify the World Championships, and then it's like, all right, now I can just focus on the Olympic trials and making the team get ready for the Olympics.
Well, the explosive Spencer Mango will see action at 121 pounds. A 2008 U.S. Olympic team member, Mango is wrestling in his 3rd straight World Championship and has his eye on his first world medal.
Time is short right now, so no major changes. Just working on little tweaks here and there. Pretty much as a team, we've been working on our part to defense, not getting turned, win a ton of matches just by having great defense. So that's been the main focus. I think we have a great team. I think we can definitely win the World Championships this year. Everybody wrestles to the best of their ability. You know, we should see some good things.
132-pound star Joe Betterman will be competing in his 2nd World Championships. He was a member of the 2007 U.S. team, which won the Greco-Roman World Team title. Betterman looks to medal, but also to make sure the U.S. qualifies the weight for the Games, something it didn't do in 2008.
The main thing is just to make it to the semifinal. That's qualifying right there, is make it to the semis. So, you know, get my first 3 matches, you know, wrestle as hard as I can, get to that semis and, you know, win that and get in the finals. That'd be ideal, but if I make it to the semis, I'll be happy just because I'll be in the top 5. I think this is going to be a real good challenge for me, and I think that I'm going to come out on top.
Well, the dangerous women's freestyle team will compete September 15th through the 17th. This team is talented and experienced, and it seeks to improve on its 5th place finish at the 2010 World Championships. Elena Pariskova had a silver medal performance at 138 pounds at last year's World Championships. Istanbul will mark her 4th straight world meet.
Either way, when you go to Worlds, you feel a little bit of pressure. I think going 2010, I was kind of nervous and excited because it was Moscow, and I didn't win a medal yet. Now I'm returning world medalist, so there isn't that pressure, but there's that pressure to perform again. So it just kind of switches a little bit.
Ella Bernard was a member of the 2008 Olympic team and a 2009 World Team member as well. She won 2 junior world titles and a university world title.
I've just been training really hard, kind of changing my wrestling style and just keep working at it and trying to improve every day. It's more offense, I guess, trying not to get in such compromisable positions where I'm throwing myself to my own back or scoring points on myself and stuff like that. So things like basic, I guess. I'm looking to get a medal and at the same time qualify the weight class. Super important.
147-pound star Adeline Gray returns to the U.S. lineup at the World Championships this year for the 2nd time after placing 5th at the 2009 World Games. She and fellow world teamer Helen Maroulis are in a unique position, wrestling in their 2nd World Championships of the year. Both athletes medaled at the Junior World Championships, and this is Gray's 2nd time wrestling in both the Junior and Senior Worlds in the same year.
I think it really prepared me for this. It really made me mentally know what I'm getting myself into with all the practices, and it's hard. It's hard to go straight from juniors, and while the seniors have a break, you're at juniors, and while the juniors have a break, you're at seniors. So we're really focusing on techniques and on our individual little things, really pinpointing what our strengths are, what our weaknesses are, and try to make our weaknesses as good as they can be before the World Championships.
September 16th through the 18th, the U.S. men's freestyle team will close out the World Championships in Istanbul. Now, the team is a mix of proven veteran stars and rising young talent. The 264-pound big man, Tervel Delegnev, was a world bronze medalist in 2009 and will be wrestling in his 2nd World Championships.
It's been really good. The team's meshing real well. The attitude, the atmosphere is real positive. It's not that hard to get motivated for these practices. The practices have been run really well. I've had a lot of great workout partners. I don't think I've touched the same guy yet, so I'm excited and looking forward to keep getting better.
One of the bright young stars on the team is Jordan Burroughs, who will be wrestling in his first World Championships at 163 pounds. His year has included an NCAA title for Nebraska, the Dan Hodge Trophy, and his first victories at the U.S. Open and World Team Trials. This summer, he made a huge statement when he won his first senior international tournament.
Oh, it's good, man. It's great for a lot of these young college guys. They're hungry. Their season's coming up soon. A lot of guys start Monday. Nebraska starts school Monday, and they start preseason training camp. So those guys just coming out here getting in good shape before the season starts and just trying to train with the best. I'm here learning from the young guys, here learning from the older guys. So I'm just excited to be here and excited for those guys to be here and get better as I'm trying to get better.
At 132 pounds, that's where you'll find the talented first-timer Reese Humphrey. He won 2 medals in the University World Championships in the past and seeks his first senior-level medal. Reese looks to become the second member of the Humphrey family with a world medal to his credit. His father, Jim, a world silver medalist in 1977.
It's affected my training perfectly, actually. It kept Bunch and I focused the whole time through. It was never really a mental block for me because I knew the situation before even the Open. And then I won the Open and really started thinking about it. So it just kept my training strong, kept everything going, kept me focused on what the actual goal was and made me a better wrestler in the end.
All 3 teams will travel now to Europe for a final training camp. The Greco-Roman team will land in Greece, the women's freestyle team will see time in Germany, and men's freestyle will be in Belarus. USA Wrestling Weekly will bring you complete World Championship coverage in future episodes.
Are you ready, America? Then let's get it on with Fight Now TV. Your front row seat, 7 days a week to experience all the hard-hitting action, news, and entertainment from around the fight world. From world-class boxing events. Here we go, the main event. To mixed martial arts showdowns and other combat sports matchups. Here we go. Fight Now TV delivers the hits and more. Fight Now TV also offers unrivaled access to the fighters and insiders who make the fight game happen around the globe. As we go from the training camps to the weigh-ins, press conferences to the matchups, Fight Now TV is there before and after every belt. Fight Now TV also features original series found only on Fight Now.
There you have it. Stop on by.
It's time, fight fans. Your channel has arrived. All the fights, all the names, all the action. Call your television provider and tell them you want to get it on with Fight Now TV.
All right, wrestling fans, Saturday, August 20th, members of all 3 U.S. World Teams came together for the annual Living the Dream Medal Fund Benefit Telethon. The second edition of the event was broadcast live from the OTC on themat.com. The event was hosted by Jason Bryant and Al Bevilacqua. Pledges and donations received from the telethon benefit the Living the Dream Medal Fund that has been established to substantially increase the financial awards for USA wrestlers who win world or Olympic medals. This popular program allows wrestlers to help their team, Team USA, those heroes, achieve their Olympic dreams. Well, the show was entertaining for sure and an opportunity to showcase U.S. team members. Fans who called in were able to speak to a U.S. World Team member, and for donations of $20 or more, fans received a personalized poster signed by the athlete they talked to. The goal of receiving 200 phone calls and sending out 200 posters was not only met, it was blown away with thousands of dollars raised for this worthy cause. 2004 Olympic champion Cael Sanderson was among the World Team athletes who participated in the telethon.
That's exciting stuff, you know. It's not really something if you're focusing on trying to win a gold medal because you're gonna be rewarded. You're probably gonna come up short. You gotta. But it's nice to know if you do, that you're recognized, I guess, in that way, and that's good for our sport with these young guys that they can win some money.
Well, the annual USA Wrestling Board of Directors meeting was held at the Skirvin Hotel on August 20th as wrestling leaders from across the country came together to make decisions about the organization and the sport. The meeting was chaired by USA Wrestling President James Ravenak of Louisiana, and a number of key decisions were made. The board approved a set of bylaw amendments which changed USA Wrestling's standing committee structure. These amendments were developed by an ad hoc committee working on board of directors restructuring over the last 2 years, that chaired by Greg Strobel. 10 existing committees will remain as standing committees for USA Wrestling. 9 standing committees were eliminated through the amendments. New committees which are being formed include the Audit, Ethics, Governance, and Folk-Style Sport committees. Next up for the board will be a proposal to change the composition and size of the board of directors. The board approved in principle a 25-person board and an 11-person executive committee. A final proposal for this change is expected to be presented for a vote at the 2012 Board of Directors meeting. Now, the change in committee structure was an important decision for the future of the organization.
The best thing for us is we're really bringing our committee structures up to date. Bringing it up to date by, including constituent groups that wasn't included in the past because of where the bylaws are read, and, we're reaching out there as far as changing the board structure. USA Wrestling is going to be governed by committees, and the board's just going to be the committee's ears. And that's what we need to do. We need to bring more of our grassroots people, more people from around the country contributing to wrestling on these committee structures, and that's what we're looking at doing.
Really, the heart of the whole thing is the restructure of committees. Our goal with the restructure of committees is to try to get more representation on every one of the committees and across the board representation in terms of a variety: coaches, athletes, officials, people from folk style, people from freestyle, people from Greco, and we felt the more representation on the committees, really the committees does the board work.
Treasurer Van Stokes presented the proposed budget for the 2011-2012 fiscal year, which was then approved by the board. Now, the budget includes total revenues of over $10.8 million and total expenditures of over $10.6 million. The revenues over expenses, $213,893. Well, the Junior Olympic Wrestling Committee report was unanimously accepted by the board. Included were these changes in USA Wrestling age group programs. USA Wrestling adopted the new National Federation high school weights for use in its cadet and junior divisions, with 3 additional lightweights added for cadets and 1 additional lightweight added for juniors. Line bracketing will be used for schoolboy and younger national championships, with each region determining the format for their regional championships. A new format has been approved for the National Dual Meet Championships, which reduced the amount of matches to no more than 9 for any team per style. For folk style wrestling, a 2-piece uniform was approved, allowing wrestlers to wear compression or board shorts and a tight-fitting sleeveless, short, or long-sleeve shirt. Kids Regional Championships have been opened up to all participants. In order to be eligible for the Kids Nationals, wrestlers must still qualify at his or her own regional. President Ravenak announced that USA Wrestling would bid on the 2015 World Championships in Las Vegas. A decision is expected next year from FILA, and the U.S. last hosted a Senior World Championship in 2003 when the Freestyle World Championships for both men and women were held in New York City. You can get a full report from the Board of Directors meetings by visiting themat.com. Well, Lauren Vigil, get your passport ready. President Ravenak announced that New Mexico's Vigil would be the recipient of the annual President's Award. Each year, USA Wrestling honors an exceptional state leader with this award, which includes a trip to the Senior World Championships. Vigil will attend the 2011 World Wrestling Championships in Istanbul, September 12th through the 18th. Vigil is in his 5th year as the state chairperson for New Mexico. Membership in the state has increased under his leadership, especially in the youth programs. He's also the head wrestling coach at Rio Grande High School in Albuquerque.
Well, the importance is our state leaders to have the ability to feel what our athletes are feeling, to feel where we're at when we're in an international competition, World Championships, Pan American Games, even any kind of international Olympic Games. What happens there is, they get a sense of pride and they go back to whatever state, whatever region they're in, and just gives them that experience.
Each season, Liberty Mutual's Responsible Sports Community Grant Program awards $65,000 to youth sports organizations and school sports programs that demonstrate their commitment to responsibility in youth sports. Your organization could be one of our 20 winners this season. It's easy. Simply visit responsiblesports.com and click on the Community Grant Program. Administrators register their organization with the program, then reach out to rally parents, coaches, and team supporters to log on and review either the Responsible Sports Parenting or Responsible Coaching Guide. Then complete the quiz and showcase your mastery of the concepts. Every successfully passed quiz is worth a point that you can credit to your favorite youth sports organization or school sports program. Connect with friends, family, and neighbors to rally more support. The teams and schools with the most points at the end of the grant period win. It's that simple. Watch the leaderboard throughout the grant season, then rally more of your supporters to increase your totals. Liberty Mutual is committed to celebrating and championing youth sports and to financially supporting organizations that demonstrate their commitment to responsible sports. Join the movement and start earning points toward your community grant.
Held alongside the Board of Directors meeting was the annual USA Wrestling State Leaders Summit. Leaders from the USA Wrestling State Associations came together for a series of seminars and planning meetings. Best practices were shared and decisions were reached on a variety of age group programs and activities. USA Wrestling President James Ravanack was pleased with the results of this year's State Leaders Summit.
Everybody, when we go into our meetings in the State Leaders Summit, everybody is at the same level. You know, it's not me, it's not them. You know what? We address the issues and we attack the issues. And it's been fun. I mean, this State Leaders Summit over the last 5 years has gotten better and better every time, and that's what I want to thank. Thank our grassroots people, but also thank staff for being able to bring it and afford us this opportunity.
We talked with California's Dwayne Morgan, the chair of the Junior Olympic Wrestling Committee and the Junior Division Council.
It's always about the work and making sure we've got policies in place for consistency, but I think more important than networking, the communication around the United States, what's working at one state, what we can do to help the other people, so you don't have to invent wheels out there, so you don't have to invent different tournament operations, what works with membership. Sharing is the best thing we can do out here, and I think we do it well. Wrestling people like to talk a lot, and so they do and will share what their thoughts are.
Rant Stein of Oklahoma, who chairs the Kids and Cadet Council for USA Wrestling, gives us his perspective on the meetings.
I think it's very good. You bring leaders across the state in, you get different leaders' ideas and pick their brains, and if there's any issues, you're able to hash them out on the table. It's kind of a good sounding board. Before at Fargo and other events, when we have meetings, you're too busy checking on your kids, trying to get back to the hotel, the dorms, and make sure kids are making weight and satisfied, and here all you can focus on is just the meetings and what's going on with the different levels of things at USA offers.
Well, as we speak, the Cadet World Championships are underway in Zimbabwe, Hungary, as the world's best 15 to 17-year-old athletes are competing there in 3 Olympic styles. Now, this is the first Cadet World Meet held since 1999, and the U.S. sent a very strong team to compete. For updates on the competition this week, we invite you to visit themat.com, and we'll have a full report on the Cadet Worlds on next week's show. Each year, when U.S. World teams are in training at the OTC in Colorado, many of the nation's top college athletes and coaches make the journey as well. College wrestlers get the opportunity to learn from the national team athletes and coaches in that intense environment. This is one of the ways that USA Wrestling gives back to the college wrestling community, helping to improve the sport. We spoke with some of the coaches and athletes who were in Colorado Springs this year for the special training camp. Scott Goodell is the head coach at Rutgers, an up-and-coming program which reached the top 10 in dual meet rankings on the Division I level this past year. Goodell brought some of his Rutgers wrestlers for training at the OTC.
Well, just to have us all together, kind of that whole family type atmosphere is kind of the first step, but just to be around the best guys in the world is really the reason we wanted to come out and be around these coaches and what Zeke's doing with his guys. It's a great experience. There's nothing like it, the facilities are unbelievable. It's a great place. You see why the best guys are, the best athletes in the world come here to train. But again, just to be around these guys and keep our guys training around the best guys in the world and watch them train. And they're getting ready for the world, so you can see the focus and how they're preparing for it. So it's a great experience all the way around.
Athletes and coaches for women's college wrestling programs also participate in the training camp with America's top female stars. Head coach Dustin Baines is looking to build his roster and improve depth and quality at the Forest City, Iowa school, now entering its second year of varsity competition. We talked with Coach Baines about the experience.
I mean, to us and our progression as a young team, it's crucial. We get to get out here and help the world team members get ready, as well as, get some great exposure for our girls to, the levels that they want to be at eventually, and to learn stuff. I think being here at the training center can do nothing but help, the girls in our program grow.
Micah Barack is a nationally ranked athlete from Penn who's benefited from the training opportunities at the USOTC. The Colorado Springs native wrestled at Coronado High School just a few miles away and explains what it's like not only to train at the OTC, but to be able to sleep in his own bed as well.
Collegiate-wise, just high intensity here, a lot of good partners, train hard, go hard, obviously get better on my feet, and I'll work on my focus out some. I'll ask Phil Simpson, he's real good on top. I'll ask him different questions, things, try to work on getting better on top, folk style, and it's nice because I can come and just be at home and train, and good place to train, so it works out well.
For the second straight week, we've received good news from the National Federation of State High School Associations about the state of high school wrestling. Last week, we learned that wrestling is one of the most popular spectator sports on high school campuses. This week, we learned that high school wrestling continues to grow in participation on the national level. During the 2010-2011 season, high school wrestling grew in all of the 5 categories studied in the annual participation survey. In 2010-2011, there were some 273,732 boys competing in wrestling, an increase of some 842 athletes. Now, the number of girl wrestlers in high schools grew to 7,351 athletes, an increase of some 1,217 grapplers for an impressive 19.8% gain. This makes wrestling the fastest growing sport for high school girls in terms of percentage increase. Wrestling remains the number 6 most popular boys sport in terms of number of participants and the number 8 most popular sport in terms of number of teams. When combining the number of boys and girls involved in wrestling in 2010-2011, the total number grew to an impressive record of 281,083 wrestlers. There was an increase in the number of high schools which fielded boys wrestling teams as well, with some 10,407 boys programs and girls teams with over 1,215 girls programs. Let's take a look at the top 10 states for boys wrestling participation and the top 5 states for girls wrestling participation on a roll. USA Wrestling applauds the efforts of our nation's high school wrestling coaches and administrators for helping our sport continue its incredible growth. Well, the National Wrestling Hall of Fame Dan Gable Museum announced that it will recognize 2000 Olympic champion and 2001 world champion Rulon Gardner as this year's inductee into the Allen and Gloria Rice Greco-Roman Hall of Champions. The induction ceremony will take place on October 1st at Augsburg College in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Gardner shocked the world at the 2000 Olympic Games in Sydney, Australia, when he defeated legendary Russian wrestler Alexander Karelin in the finals of the super heavyweight division. Karelin was undefeated up to that point. Gardner also won the 2001 World Championships and captured a bronze medal at the 2004 Olympics in Athens, Greece. Previous inductees include Olympic champions Steve Frazier and Jeff Blatnick, and world champions Mike Houck, Dennis Hall, and Joe Warren. The Jim and Olive Morgan family will be given the first Greco-Roman Legacy Award for their tremendous accomplishments in wrestling, specifically in the Greco-Roman discipline. John, Gordy, and Marty Morgan, sons of Jim and Olive, won a combined 10 national Greco-Roman titles and competed in 2 Olympics and 2 World Championships. Allen and Gloria Rice, namesakes of the Hall champions, have been instrumental to the success of Greco-Roman wrestling in the U.S. The Allen and Gloria Rice Greco-Roman Hall of Champions is located inside the Dan Gable Museum in Waterloo. Now, ticket prices are only $50 and can be purchased online at dgm-nwhof.ticketleap.com. We'll put it on the screen right about here, or you can call the museum at 319-233-0745. One more time on the number, 319-233-0745. I'm Scott Casper. Stay tuned. There's more USA Wrestling Weekly when we continue. Wrestling fans, USA Wrestling has launched a top social networking site designed for you. USA Wrestling Nation is the latest innovation provided to the wrestling community by our sports national governing body, USA Wrestling. Post photos, blogs, and videos, interact on boards. Keep up with your favorite wrestling personalities with USA Wrestling Nation. It's free to register. Join the thousands of wrestling fans that have already signed up and become a part of the USA Wrestling Nation at usawrestlingnation.com. Well, after a stellar career at the University of Illinois, where he won the 2000 NCAA Division I championship at 41, Carl Perry found a new calling. After spending several years as an assistant at his alma mater, Perry was called into action for the Fellowship of Christian Athletes as its new National Director of Wrestling. Perry talked to us about the role the FCA will try to have moving forward in all levels of wrestling, but specifically in helping new coaches at faith-based schools. Of the 19 new programs added over the last 15 months, 14 of them have come at private faith-based schools.
Yeah, I just think that having that dynamic, even for our coaches, with our coaches ministry, being able to impact our coaches to reach the heart of their athletes, that you're going to get more out of your athlete by digging in and reaching the heart of the athlete. And that's where we come in and try to put Christ as the center of our coaching and even trying to reach the athletes, impacting them to what does it mean to be a competitor for Christ, and the dynamics that, hey, well, we're not perfect, but having that element is powerful.
Well, a true friend of the wrestling community, U.S. Olympic Committee Director of Media Services, Bob Condren, has announced that he will retire at the end of this year. Condren has worked for the USOC for 28 years now, starting his service to the Olympic family in 1983. He's worked 15 Olympic Games, making a major impact on the promotion of all Olympic sports, including wrestling. Bob has worked with USA Wrestling athletes, coaches, and staff members during his years at the Olympic Committee. His humor, insight, vision, and abilities will be missed by everybody in the Olympic family. USA Wrestling salutes Bob Condren for his outstanding career and his impact on our sport. Thanks, Bob. Folks, we're running long. We'll see y'all next week right here on USA Wrestling Weekly.